the menopausal brain, perimenopausal brain, and what's actually happening. Whatever your role, whether you're a leader, colleague, or someone navigating this yourself, creating psychological safety is everyone's duty. Psychological safety in the workspace is your shared team belief that you can speak up, share ideas, ask questions, admit mistakes, and raise concerns without facing punishment, humiliation, or negative consequences. So this is the first of 6 short modules on perimenopause in the workplace. And right now we're going to cover the basics of what's actually happening in the brain during perimenopause, because understanding these incredible mechanisms, it changes how everyone responds to it, including the person experiencing it. So here's the piece that most people find most surprising. Estrogen isn't only involved in reproduction, as it's well known to. In the brain, it's also one of the regulators of the brain's energy. It helps brain cells take up glucose, their fuel, and helps the tiny power stations inside those cells, the mitochondria, turn that fuel into usable power. And in the transition, estrogen doesn't decline in a nice, smooth, predictable line. It fluctuates up and down, trending lower over time. And so the brain's fuel supply fluctuates with it. So a task that used to be automatic can suddenly cost more effort. Holding a thought, finding a name, switching between 2 jobs at once, even in the most skilled multitasker from before. That whole mechanism of new difficulty is commonly called brain fog. And it isn't a motivation problem, it's not a character problem, it's purely physiological. And 2 things are worth knowing here, because together they explain a very confusing experience. Whilst the brain fog is absolutely real, at the same time, a person can still be capable and still perform all the tasks, even though it's very difficult. Cognitive symptoms like this are a very common experience. And when researchers put some people going through perimenopause through standard cognitive testing, their performance typically still fell within the normal ranges. So someone can genuinely feel foggier and still be performing to standard. Both can be true at once. And that gap is exactly why perimenopause cognitive symptoms are so easy to misjudge from one day to the other, both from outside and from within. So here's what's easy to miss. The brain isn't also passively just taking this hit. As the estrogen signals become less reliable, the brain responds and it increases the density of estrogen receptors, effectively straining to catch more of the hormone that's still circulating. And that extra effort is part of what the brain fog actually is. It isn't damage, it's adaptation. And brain imaging research has also shown measurable changes in brain structure and how the brain uses glucose concentrated in regions that handle memory and attention. And importantly, these changes tracked with where someone was in the menopause transition, not simply with chronological age. And it's vital to keep in mind that after the transition, the picture tends to improve again. Blood flow and energy use in these regions typically rise, and brain structure largely stabilizes again. So this is described as a process with a shape, a before, a during, and an after, rather than a fixed, permanent new normal, which is often seen as a decline. But it's not. And so what does this mean practically? Someone experiencing this might take a little bit longer on a task that used to be quick, or lose a word mid-sentence, or need to reread something more than once. That is a real physiological temporary shift in how the brain is managing this energy. It's not laziness, and it's not incompetence, and it's not the beginning of a permanent decline. So if you are a leader, this understanding should change how you interpret a dip in someone's usual sharpness. And you can meet that with curiosity and support without judgment. And if you're a colleague, it means a longer moment from someone who's normally on top of things, isn't laziness, and it's not, it's not on purpose, it's not against you. And a little patience can go a long way. And if this is you, know this. What you're experiencing has a physiological explanation. It's common, and it is not any form of evidence that you've lost your edge. In this transition, the brain is like a supercomputer, and all these files from over the years of experience, all these files are still there and everything works, but it is also undergoing a massive systems update and a reboot. So to recap, estrogen helps regulate how the brain uses energy, and its fluctuation during perimenopause is what drives cognitive symptoms like brain fog. This is common. It typically doesn't affect underlying performance or on standard testing anyway, and you can still hold your colleagues high in that way. And the brain is actively adapting throughout. It's not a decline. So in the next module, we'll look at the legal aspects around perimenopause support at work.